Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gabby McCree, Mary Baldwin's board chair, and I'd like to welcome all those gathered here in France and those virtually joining in via live stream. Thank you for taking the time to be with us as we celebrate an exciting moment in Mary Baldwin University's 101-year history, the announcement of our 10th president, Dr. Jeff Stein. As you all know, we began the search process last August, following Dr. Fox's announcement that she would retire after her truly transformational and historic 20-year presidency. Let's take a moment to honor her remarkable legacy and thank her for her continued and dedicated service to Mary Baldwin. She will continue to lead the university in these last months with her extraordinary dedication and talent, but we did take a pause yesterday to gather with family and friends to share a tribute to her and her husband, Dan. Two members of our community stepped forward to lead the presidential search. Trustees Harvey Westbrook and Helen Forster, my classmate and my roommate in the class of 1983. They have done wonderful jobs as co-chair, and I'd like to thank them for their tireless efforts. Our search committee contributed many hours of hard work and a tremendous amount of insight during the process. Committee members, I have been so impressed by your thoughts, your keen analysis, and your heartfelt devotion to Mary Baldwin. I'm also so grateful for many other community members who supported the search process, particularly on campus, and for Dr. Fox's wise and generous support during this important moment. You have all made this possible. Would all the Presidential Search Committee members please stand to be recognized? Thank you again for your service to Mary Baldwin. Helen is here with us today, and she'll give an overview of the presidential search process. Helen, please join.
Harvey and I would like to thank the dedication and the hard work of all the search committee. It was a arduous task, and we did a wonderful job, as always. Good afternoon. I am thrilled to be with you today on behalf of the Presidential Search Committee and my fellow co-chair, Harvey Westbrook. We had a dedicated committee with representation from many constituents across the university, and we had a valued partner in academic search. The input and insight from the broader Mary Baldwin community, many of you listening today, was absolutely essential in bringing us to this day. When asked what attributes you sought in a new president, you told us that you wanted a leader with experience, integrity, and vision. You wanted a president who operated with transparency and open communication, someone who is personable and who shows empathy and caring. In Dr. Jeff Stein, we truly believe we have a new president who more than meets those requirements. He brings to us an impressive skill set combined with a heart to serve our students and the university as a whole. Looking back over the past 9 months, the Committee in Academic Search actively recruited a highly qualified and talented pool of candidates. After 2 rounds of interviews, we identified 4 finalists. Those finalists traveled to MBU for a final round of meetings with select groups of students, administrators, faculty, and staff. Last month, the committee sent our unanimous recommendation to the Board of Trustees for the next president. While Dr. Stein consistently rose above the other candidates, the search committee did not make its recommendation only based on how the finalists stacked up against one another. Instead, there was absolute clarity among the search committee members that Dr. Stein is the right person with the right gifts and the right characteristics to lead MBU forward at this important moment. What set him apart was his ability to connect with people across the university, his understanding that Mary Baldwin has always evolved to serve students in their time. He is sharp, dynamic, and collaborative. He is perceptive, his questions are insightful, and he is clearly adept at being strategic and found understanding current challenges facing higher education and MBU's need to transform. His extensive experience with long-term strategic planning transformations at Elon University in North Carolina made it clear that he was the right person for the position. We are excited and confident about Dr. Stein's ability to inspire and motivate Mary Baldwin's community to fulfill its mission and strengthen the university for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. I'm delighted to introduce our 10th president, a person with personal integrity, intelligence, and proven expertise that is matched with a passion for the very best of what higher education does for the world. Dr. Stein is an accomplished administrator and scholar and a beloved teacher with more than 30 years of experience in higher education. Currently serves as Vice President for Strategic Initiatives and Partnerships and Assistant Professor of English at Elon. His wife, Chrissy, is also an English professor and gifted educator. We're so pleased she's here with us for the announcement today and are looking forward to welcoming them both to Mary Baldwin. In his current role, Dr. Stein worked for thousands of Elon constituents to develop and implement their 10-year strategic plan, which continues to expand Elon's rise from a regional college to a top 100 national university over the past 3 decades. He oversees the Student Professional Development Center, Leadership and Professional Development, Professional and Continuing Studies, and Cultural and Special Programs. 2 recent examples of Dr. Stein's strategic work include leading teams to develop regional centers in major U.S. cities that will offer Elon students immersive professional experiences and coursework. And he's co-leading another initiative to develop a groundbreaking student mentoring model. During his time as a student affairs dean, Dr. Stein spearheaded an initiative to integrate living and learning across the campus with a new $150 million residential plan. He joined Elon's senior staff in 2010, serving as chief of staff and secretary to the Board of Trustees for 2 presidents. Dr. Stein began his tenure at Elon in 2002 as an assistant professor of English, teaching about writing, literature, and identity. His record shows resourcefulness, he's pragmatic and an informed decision-making alongside creative thinking and bold ideation. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are deeply embedded in Dr. Stein's work, including on the Boldly Elon strategic plan, resulting in campus initiatives focused on increasing representational diversity, building support for diverse students, faculty, and staff, and enhancing intercultural competencies. As part of these efforts, he participated in the formulation and work of the Committee on Elon History and Memory, charged with examining Elon's institutional history and developing policies to make the campus more just and inclusive. His leadership in creating a welcoming environment for Jewish students on Elon resulted in growing the campus Jewish population from 50 to more than 800. There is a steadiness and wisdom to Dr. Stein, which is grounded in his values and demonstrated in his accomplishments. Both Elon's former and current presidents attest to how respected he is across their campus and to the brilliance of his leadership and vision. His dedication to student-centered practices shines through in everything he does, and he strives to ensure the broadest possible access to the life-changing power of higher education. It is a vital commitment that he and the Mary Baldwin community share. Even over the relatively short period of time that we have gotten to know each other, and I feel like I've already known him for more than that, Dr. Stein has connected with Mary Baldwin's history, its values, and he believes profoundly in our mission. I can't wait to see what lies ahead as we walk the beautiful Mary Baldwin Hills together. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Stein to the lectern to share some remarks. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good afternoon, Mary Baldwin community, and thank you for that incredible welcome. I want to offer my gratitude to Board Chair Gabby McCree, certainly to Helen Forster and Harvey Westbrook from the Search Committee, to the full board, as well as to the faculty and staff on the Search Committee, all of whom made it very obvious to Chrissy and me that this was the place that we needed to be. I also want to thank President Fox for her visionary leadership and her tireless work on behalf of this university. Dr. Fox, my thanks to you and to Dan for all that you have given this community and your gracious welcome to Chrissy and me. I offer appreciation as well to some specific students who I met during the interview process and who generously shared their stories. I'm going to get this part wrong, but I'm going to do my best. Lakia Ecurestian, Gerardo Escalero Cardoso, Jonathan Delgado, Haley Gummer, Asia Patterson, Trelawney Simpson, and Keith Taylor. Now, while Chrissy's family and my family couldn't be here today, neither of us would have made it to this moment without their love and support. And depending on which of our 5 sisters are in charge of the technology back in Colorado, I want to acknowledge them. They might be online. It's hard to know if they made it. Steins and Watsons on the live feed. If my phone rings in the next few minutes, I guarantee it will be one of them or one of our 2 children providing corrections on these remarks. I guarantee it. Yeah. And of course, I'd like to thank my wife, Chrissy, my partner, who has her own distinguished career as an educator and a fierce advocate for students, and who has always made me better. As a slightly nerdy Jewish kid growing up in Denver, I spent time in 2 prominent locations. You could find me often either on the basketball court, imagining my career as a professional basketball player, or in the library, where it seemed like everything was possible. The first time I visited Grafton Library on campus, I was taken by the image of the torch in the stained glass window. And I was reminded of a story by the mystical scholar Isaac Luria. You see, he says, at the beginning of our world, there was divine light that was stored in sacred clay vessels. At some point, those vessels shattered, scattering light and the shards from the vessels throughout the world. While interpretations differ, I prefer the reading that those shards entered into each of us, that we embody those shards imbued with celestial light. And it is our job throughout our lives to repair the world by reconnecting those shards through acts of kindness and social justice, through education, by bringing light back together in the world. This is a story for me that gives me understanding, number 1, of our purpose, right? How each of us contributes to repairing this world. Literally bringing back together the broken shards of the vessels and the light. As well as understanding, too, the importance of providing grace, understanding how the fractured and the divine exist in each of us. Inherent in this notion is that the differences that make us unique are enhanced when we come together, that our community is stronger and brighter because of our differences. And I'm drawn to Mary Baldwin because this institution has always been, as Mabel Leftwich Pelletier of the class of 1903 wrote, a luminous torch. A torch that is carried by students and alumni and was started with namesake Mary Julia Baldwin, an orphan who attended the institution upon its founding and came back to lead the institution even as the war raged at her doorstep. Mary Baldwin has always been a beacon of light on the hill, always rising, always improving lives, showing courage to endeavor for what is right and equitable, to raise people up, to educate, to fight for women, to fight for the underrepresented, providing access to education that transforms lives. Now, education has been that same lantern of opportunity, for my family. In the first half of the 20th century, my grandparents slipped out of Europe. One side of the family escaping the Russian pogroms, the other side of the family escaping the Holocaust. In the hope that their future children, my parents, would not only survive, but would enjoy the freedoms of education and democracy. In 2 generations, my family went from refugees to first-generation college students to this moment today. My own family's history fuels my commitment to higher education as our most powerful launchpad, transforming the trajectories of individual students and entire generations of families like mine and like yours, and to broad access to education afforded to all. Of us have been touched by this flame of education and opportunity, which is more in this country. In this way, we each serve as the torchbearers protecting Mary Baldwin's flame and working to ensure Mary Baldwin is always rising. My work for the past 20 years in and out of the classroom has readied me for this moment. Today, I am inspired to join Mary Baldwin on its own trajectory of success, a community that for 181 years has made brave and bold decisions to bring light, the fastest moving entity in the universe, that empowers the broadest array of students to build lives of meaning and purpose in communities around the globe. Now, new college and university presidents are often asked, what are you going to do first? What are you going to change, right? These are scary moments sometimes on campus. My answer is that I will begin by listening and learning from each of you. I understand that is bold and optimistic at a time when every college and university in the country is experiencing disruption and change. But I have spent my adult life studying literature, creative writing, and higher education, investing time and energy in building liberal arts communities and institutions. At the heart of that work are people and their stories. My own study of writing and literature has been driven by a desire to propel students, those on the borders, to develop voice, to write themselves into existence. Already, I have been deeply impressed by the students, faculty, staff, alumni, community members, and trustees who I've met, and deeply inspired by their passion, their creativity, expertise, and their dedication to making the best learning community possible for students. Your stories are the reason I am here today. And I make this commitment today, no matter the changes ahead, to listen and learn from you, to hear your thoughts and stories about what you love about Mary Baldwin and where you see opportunities for growth, to strive to engage the entire MBU community in developing our initiatives moving forward, to always put students first and at the center, to honor the legacy of MBU and keep Mary Baldwin connected to Stanton and Virginia, and to ensure that students and families looking for a better future can always turn to Mary Baldwin. Of course, we have no choice but to continue to evolve and grow as we prepare students for a world we cannot yet imagine as concerns grow about all outcomes and rising costs, as demands increase for a diverse, resilient, and agile workforce, and as institutions across the country face existential threats. But how we do that work will be important. Like you, I am eager to more deeply understand the complexities of this moment at Mary Baldwin and the competitive landscape that we face. And I will do my best to take your thoughts and ideas into account moving forward. In the years ahead, we will work to increase retention and graduation rates, to deepen engaged learning, intercultural competence, internships, and essential skills, to enhance pipelines and partnerships, both at MBU and externally, to spur internships and jobs, and also to further support student, faculty, and staff well-being. Along the way, we will need to balance budgets, fuel innovation, and further increase fundraising and friend-raising. But we already have so many assets at our hands. Talented and dedicated staff, faculty, and alumni who mentor MBU students every single day. A deep focus on students, student learning, and leadership development. Strong curriculum and expertise in a broad array of fields across the Gold College, Palmer College, Murphy-Deming, and more. Across undergraduate, graduate, adult, and online programs, and connections and partnerships across this region and many industries. And that's just a small handful of so many assets that we have. I started my comment talking about the students and thanking them for participating. I wonder if Lakia and Gerardo and Jonathan and Keith would stand up for a moment for us. And if you don't mind remaining standing, if there was ever a question about the purpose, importance, or power of higher education, these students are the answer. I believe Baldwin's brightest days are ahead and that together we will ensure the torch of knowledge and opportunity will continue to guide us in this new chapter. I'm here because I am awed by Mary Baldwin's unflagging determination to social mobility and to empower these students, to create lives of purpose and professional success in our changing world. No matter the challenges ahead, I believe in these students, and I believe in this community, this torch, and its ability to build the future. This is the light of higher education and the legacy of Mary Baldwin that I hope to continue to build with you. I want to thank you students for being here today. Feel free to sit down. And thank all of you for being here, for being online, and for your commitment to Mary Baldwin. I look forward to our work together. I offer good wishes for the end of the semester and the end of the year. Chrissy and I are eager to meet each of you in the moments ahead and the months ahead. And I just want to say thank you.
That's the Mary Baldwin family. Thank you so much for your inspiring comments. And good afternoon, Dr. Stein, Mrs. Stein, and our extended Mary Baldwin family, those present here, and I hope many of you are also sharing this moment virtually. On this momentous day, Dan and I extend our heartfelt congratulations to Dr. and Mrs. Stein. We deeply appreciate the opportunity and responsibility you undertake to lead this remarkable community. We are always guided by our mission, inspired by our students, and ready for you to lead us into the next exciting chapter.
So thank you for accepting this role, and we will, Dan and I, and everyone here will be there to support you in every way. When I announced my retirement in August, I set the stage for the transition between the 9th and 10th presidents to be a dash. Well, today, that becomes the line of continuity. And I'm very pleased to tip you a little flame to light that bright light. Dr. Stein, I want and wise words of our former chaplain, Dr. Patricia Hunt. She delivered this poem to me upon my inauguration, and I want to transmit some of that to you today. She said, "We are deeply grateful that you are a part of this Mary Baldwin band of seekers and creators and thinkers and detectives in seeking knowledge first, then wisdom after. We do not know what the future holds, but we know you will face it with courage. Give us a vision of your place and your purpose. May you find, even on trying days, joyous attitudes and notes." Thank you for bringing us Dr. Jeff Stein. We are indeed fortunate. She concludes, let God's favor be upon you and prosper the work of our hands. Let's go forth with confidence that there are new songs to be sung, fresh discoveries to be made, and rich experiences coming our way. Chaplain Hunt's words of wisdom will be guided by the wisdom of 181 years. So we're going to present to you a series of gifts now, with mine coming first. My gift to you today, 1,000,000 words of wisdom, bound in the 5 books of history written about Mary Baldwin to date. There is a special table in the President's office for these volumes. These we have inscribed for you. They served me almost every day as a constant resource. And if you came into my office, you would see me sitting there, stuck in the middle of that one that's this thick, trying to read something from it. So these are the tomes on the words and millions of words of wisdom that we bequeath to you specially to put on that table and to know that they're a constant source of reference and joy. So, Dr. and Mrs. Stein, it's your turn. We celebrate you and welcome you to the Mary Baldwin family.
Dr. Stein, Jeff, I'm so pleased to be here today representing the Mary Baldwin faculty. Like you, I'm a 30-year veteran professor, and so I know what lies ahead for you and Chrissy over the next few months. You got a lot of books to pack. And you got to move into a new office. But hopefully, even though we know that this is a pretty Herculean task, hopefully you'll find our gift to you extremely useful. They're a pair of bookends. This gift is twofold in its symbolism. Bookends surround and support, but they also represent that which they contain, and that is our collective knowledge and wisdom in all its various forms and dynamic ways. We're so excited and grateful that you will add to our expertise, and we welcome you and Chrissy to our community of scholars and practitioners here at Mary Baldwin.
Good afternoon, everyone. And Dr. Stein, as a proud Mary Baldwin graduate and member of the MBU staff, I'm so glad to welcome you to our campus. I've always thought that one of the greatest gifts of Mary Baldwin is our small size, because here you get to know your coworkers as well as students really well. Here we also get to know each other's stories, as well as we genuinely care about each other, and happy to invite you to this campus. We really talk a lot as well. Not too much, but as you'll soon find out. So in that spirit of conversation and connection, our gift to you is not one, but 4 coasters. We hope they'll provide you an open invitation to grab a cup of coffee and chat with us and continue to join our community throughout your presidency. Congratulations again, and we look forward to getting to know you and Chrissy more.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lakia Bekouretian, and I'm a proud member of Mary Baldwin's class of 2023. I'm all... As well as the student government president. Dr. Stein, it was a pleasure meeting you last month during your interview process, and I'm honored to be here with you today. It seems unbelievable to say, but we are 37 days away from graduation. And as my fellow graduates and I look back at our time here, we're thinking about everything we've learned, all the people who have imparted their wisdom on us, and how we'll carry our experience forward into the future. On behalf of Mary Baldwin's students, I'd like to present to you this clock, nicely packaged, which displays the MBU seal and Latin motto, not for time, but eternity. We hope it will remind you, through the upcoming demands and fast pace of your days, that the important work here at Mary Baldwin is truly timeless. All the best wishes as you begin your presidency.
Thank you, Lakia, Christina, Kat, and of course, Dr. Fox. I want to thank all of you for being here with us today. It's such an important time, and it's a historic moment for Mary Baldwin. I'd like to invite all of you to Page Terrace for a reception chance to meet Dr. Stein. So we'll see you outside. Thank you all for being here.